So today I'm going to be showing you how to replace a distributor on a 1991 Toyota Corolla. I've done it before, so it's going to be pretty easy. And I'm ready. Alright, all you need for this is 8mm, 15mm, and maybe a flathead screwdriver to pop the connectors. This is really easy. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my 8mm and I'm going to take the distributor cap off. Is that really the first thing I should be doing? No, the first thing I should be doing is taking the plugs out. Well, not the plugs. Just the wires. Make sure they don't fall forward, because if this is hot, it will melt these, so just good practice. Put them behind. So those are out of the way. Leave them connected. This is only a 4-cylinder, so it should be pretty simple to line back up, just so long as they don't come out. There's another bolt right here. And these bolts can also be taken out with a Phillips or flathead screwdrivers. I sound fancy, don't I? I know what I'm talking about. I don't ever set anything here lest it falls in and I don't know. That calls for some bad problems. The only thing I set here is the actual spark plugs. Okay, when you take off your distributor cap, there's a little seal in between here. Make sure you save that, because the new one doesn't come with it. Well, my new one didn't come with it. Alright, that's off, so we just pull this off, set it aside. Easy breezy. There are 2 connectors that we need to take apart. Push down tabs. Pull those out. Be careful that you don't break them. Okay. And what you may not be able to see is that right here there's a mark from where it's manufactured. I made a mark to line that up and a mark just off of this one to line up, but that's the one I'm going to use to line up and make sure I have the distributor in exactly where it's supposed to go. So make sure you mark it. And then we take the rotor off. Actually, I think I can leave that on. So I'll get the connectors out of the way. Alright. I just have a 3-inch extension on here. You could go a little bit longer, but not by much. Okay, so one thing, there's something I want to show you, a little trick to save your knees. I really want to climb up on here because it's hurting my back. I don't have this jacked up, and I want to kneel. That would hurt worse. So let me show a little trick for that. So what I've got here is a floor mat out of my new Corolla. The driver's side one is just destroyed. So anyway, I'm going to set that across here. Make sure, because I don't want to sit on this. We're going to be careful I don't kneel on that. And that way I can kneel up here and it doesn't hurt at all. And then I can get to this a little easier without straining my back quite so bad. This really comes in handy for us girls. We want to keep our legs looking pretty, not all bruised up. I don't know. I'm sure some of you do. Okay, I don't know why, but I really like finishing off. I like pulling out the bolts at the end with my fingers because then I don't lose it. Okay, so that's just hanging in there just by itself. Let me grab the other distributor. Okay, this distributor is used, but it works great. So I'm going to wiggle it out. Okay, actually, yes, you do need one large Phillips head screwdriver, or if you have a pry bar. Okay, so now I've got this. I'm just gonna very gently pry it out, very gently. We want to make sure it doesn't turn. Alright, I'll set that down and see if I can just wiggle it out from here. Now there's a O-ring on it. There we go. And that would kind of catch. So I'm going to take this one out. And so the first thing I do is I'm going to turn them where they're in the same direction. And I turn them like this, and I got to get them to line up to be the same as this one, because that's one that just came out, without turning the rotor. So, well, the rotor on the original. And so one end has a notch, and these are offset, so you cannot put these in wrong. So that is a huge relief for most of us. And there's even like a little nub sticking out right here. So that's cool. That also helps you line that up. So now I'm gonna put this on, get the marks lined up. Now if it's not going in, and it might give it a little resistance, but if it's really just not going in, take it out and check your marks again, or check it again. Make sure it lines up. Yep, this one's just a smidge off. It needs to just turn just a little more. Shit. Alright. Now it's way off. Well, I can hold it in place by holding onto the rotor here. Let me match it up again. So I've got that in, and rotor back on. There we go. On. You can get like a $30 core for that if you get them. If you were to buy a refurbished one, so you know, good to keep on. All right, 12mm bolts back in, and basically, you know, we're just doing opposite is what we did on the way out to put it all back in. That's usually how it goes, isn't it?